Hi there, I'm Luna Anna, and I'm the channeler of Healing the Patriarchy with Love, which is a new paradigm way of viewing patriarchy that inspires fast track healing of it for the well-being of all. I'm also a quantum hypnotherapist and soul healer that works with women online. And the women that I work for are women who want to transform their world in service to a world in need of transformation. You can find out more about me and those things by visiting my website at lunalouiseanna.com. So welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to my video, however it finds you. Thank you for taking time to watch the video and to listen to what I'm going to share today. Because what I'm going to share today is a message that I feel needs to be brought through and needs to reach into the realms of mainstream spirituality. Because something that I've been noticing within mainstream spirituality is that people think that the fifth dimension is something to aim for or a destination. And it's neither of those things. And as long as you believe it's a destination and something to aim for, the universe will keep bringing you the experience of it being a destination and something to aim for. And this is how we keep ourselves accidentally trapped, little ego traps that happen. And I'm a person who's had a lot of ego traps in her life. And that's how I know. So that's how I know it's an ego trap, because I've been there. And because I've been there, I also know the way out. So that's what I wanted to share today. So, okay, Luna, if it's not something to aim for and it's not a destination, what is it? So I have done other videos on this, and if I can find them, I'm not very good at finding my videos. Once I've done them, it's kind of done for me. But if I can find them, I will link them into this video for you. So please do search through, otherwise subscribe and search through my playlists, and you will find more about the fifth dimension and what it is and all that kind of thing. So I'm not going to go too much into that today, other than to say the fifth dimension is your heart space. It's your heart. It's where your love exists, essentially in your heart chakra. And the third dimension is your mind. And the fourth dimension is the name we give to the healing journey that eventually brings us to the realization that the fifth dimension is our heart space. It's the love we give. That's all it is. And actually, once we have that realization, we also dissolve into the knowingness that the mind and the heart aren't actually separate. And then your mind goes from being third dimension consciousness to fifth dimension consciousness. In other words, it is one with the heart. Oh, okay, great. But how does that all happen? Again, there's lots of videos of mine that speak of, this journey, because it is the journey of enlightenment. And I'm very honored to serve the awakening and the healing of the planet and the enlightenment, the empowerment and the equity of women on this planet for the well-being of all. And so I have lots of videos on that. But basically, once we heal from our traumas and all these ideas that we have that stand in the way, then our heart space opens up and it becomes a guide, and the light of our soul begins to shine out from our hearts, and it becomes a beacon and a guide on the rest of our journey, which is still a healing journey. It's not the same as when it's from third dimensional consciousness or even the fourth dimension journey to get to the fifth dimension. It's heart-led, heart-centered. And this is why spiritual teachers who we know who are enlightened are heart-centered. Their enlightenment comes from the light in their heart, comes from the never-ending wellspring of love that exists in all hearts. And those that don't act from that and don't demonstrate that are maybe just a little bit needing a bit longer on their journey. And maybe you've had moments where you've touched this place of enlightenment, or maybe you've meditated and felt, oh gosh, that was the fifth dimension. It was so blissful and ecstatic, because it can be all of those things, but it doesn't wipe out the human experience. Why would love do that? Love wants to be all. Love allows all. Love accepts all. Love is unconditional after all. And so it's not as though the fifth dimension suddenly changes everything and everything's perfect, through the eyes of the ego, how we want it to be, with no pain and no suffering. It's that the things that would normally cause us pain and suffering are so held by the light of our hearts that they don't feel like the same pain or suffering. And it's not that there isn't pain or there isn't suffering, it's that the holding is there. The potency of our own self-love is there. And this is what carries us through all the trials and challenges and tribulations. And I know in particular when you're sensitive and you're, what we call awakened, path can be quite treacherous. Often we go through healings that are painful when we're held by the love in our hearts. Somehow it's easier, more, what do I want to say? The word's just gone. I was just about to say a word, and it's just gone. Feels like it's been wiped away by the universe, actually. Oh, I just keep hearing less. Less, not more. Less treacherous. Oh. But the stakes are higher. All right, okay. Yeah. Less treacherous, but the stakes are higher because when you've got more awareness, you become more responsible for the world around you and the energy around you. I know that is something that has been really prevalent in my life. I've always had to be, what we might consider to be the bigger person. And it's funny that we say that, isn't it? Because I actually think we become the smaller person by allowing our ego to shrink back and not lead in those moments. But even just things like noticing things around you in the world or in your neighborhood or within your family, a lot of us do a lot of ancestral work, so we know what that's like. Many of us are, what gets termed the black sheep. Lots of us are estranged from family or don't fit in. And maybe find it difficult even in communities because we're so different. And this is what I mean about having responsibility. The stakes are so much higher when you have more awareness because you can't ignore things. They're actually there getting your attention on purpose. And in fifth dimensional reality, the love in your heart guides you to be authentically you, which means if you've got the skills and the kindness and the compassion and the guidance, then you act on it. And this is how the fifth dimension becomes real to you. Because in the fifth dimension, there's a convergence of being, which comes from the heart, and doing, which comes from the mind. And the being is the feminine and the doing is the masculine. You know, I speak an awful lot about the feminine and heart and the masculine mind and how healing the patriarchy with love is really just the union of those, the healing that leads to the union of those. And what it means to have those converged is you act with integrity. You act with a purity of intention. And to do that, you do need a very awakened and healed heart, because that is the place that gives you the awareness. And that means that you won't shun your ego, because egos are not there to be shunned. And the more you shun it, the more it goes back into darkness, and the more the darkness grows, and the worse your behavior will become anyway. Because, yes, I know that ego trap as well. Been there, done that. Not going to let you do it. I'm going to tell you about it so you don't do it. And it means putting love and kindness into the things that we do. So even, you know, something simple like, I don't know, washing the dishes, let's say, which is something that I actually quite like doing. I like the hot water on my hands. I'm a bit weird. I don't have a dishwasher. I haven't had one since I was a kid. And you can put intention of love into them and gratitude for the people who made the dishes, who made the cutlery, who made the soap, the plumber that put the sink in. That is a being and doing. You're doing the dishes, but you're being gratitude. And when the heart starts to feel safe to be your guide, and that's all it is, it's just allowing it the space to breathe and the little moments of trust that come through that. And then it can be really shone out into the world through all your actions. Because if you just imagine if everybody did the dishes like that, I mean, just take a moment to feel into that. Everybody, when they washed the dishes, was grateful for all the different components that make up washing the dishes, whether it be your hands, your dexterity, the soap, the water, the sink, all those things. And if every person was giving gratitude every time they did that, imagine what would happen in the world. And people that, you know, don't have access to those things, you can already feel, I can actually feel the strand of possibility there. There's a timeline there where that could be eradicated. And so the more of us that, you know, are ready and are possibly already fifth dimensional and,, yeah, and, yeah, 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 just didn't realize it. if lots and lots of us realize it, imagine the power of that. Imagine the healing for the world that brings. And so that's why this journey is key to healing the patriarchy with love. And again, please check out my other videos if you're not sure what I mean by that. There's loads and loads of them now. Got a whole playlist, Healing the Patriarchy with Love, all about it. But it's a reference to the journey from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness. So in other words, taking all of our awareness that's, been believing everything that our mind says, which is a relevant part. It's an absolutely relevant part of our life story. And maybe eventually the mind disturbs you so much that you decide to have some healing because you can't go on, which is normally how it plays out, isn't it? And that healing starts to peel back all the layers, all the traumas, all the different blocks to take you deeper and deeper into your heart space, into the fifth dimension. Once enough of the traumas have gone, the light of love in your heart will start to lead the way. And that is the true path to enlightenment. And you watch any enlightened master, we've got lots of them on the planet now. There's loads of them. They're all around me every time. I know lots of them. And I'm sure you do too. Maybe you watch their YouTube videos, or maybe you've been on their retreats, or maybe even it's a friend or something, and you think, God, yeah, they're enlightened. And you watch them and you learn from them because that's why they're here. And you will see they are fully led by their hearts. And it takes bravery because sometimes our hearts ask us to do really illogical, crazy things. And sometimes we also do need, discernment as well as to, what's really being asked of us and why. And that's why there's a journey to get there. And that's why we don't just suddenly arrive there unless we've done this lifetime, absolutely zillions of times. And then we can wake up really fast. Like some of the teachers that I've just mentioned, they have that. But they earned it by doing zillions of this, zillions of lifetimes. Bless them. And deep gratitude to them for coming back to do it one more time to help us all. So I really hope that this has cleared things up, helped to bring light, and maybe even you've had the realization that fifth dimension is already here. It's within you. Hopefully I've simplified it because I'm quite good at simplifying things. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching, and thank you for listening, and thank you for being you. And I truly appreciate if you want to join me and watch more of my videos, then you can subscribe. And you can also find me on Facebook under @LunaLouiseAnna, or just look up Healing the Patriarchy with Love and you will find me. I have podcast, YouTube channel, Facebook, 2 Facebook pages. One's @LunaLouiseAnna and the other is Healing the Patriarchy with Love. And there's lots that goes on there. I do lots of lives, what I call fifth dimensional affirmations. Hear about all my healing events. So I'm doing a moon rose circle for women at this full moon. And that's going to be transmissions of the divine feminine light of the moon to support people, through what can sometimes be difficult periods when we're in these big moons, as I call them. Full moons, super moons, and all that. And of course, we're coming into the eclipse season. So I will be there offering these Moon Rose women's circles online via Zoom to support women through those moments by channeling the light of the moon. I'd love to see you there. So if you want to find out more about that, please visit my Facebook page. And if you would like to heal with me, then please visit lunalouiseanna.com. All my details and different services that I offer on there, or I can tailor something to your needs. You can find little click boxes where you can click to email me. So just send me a message from there if you want to. Now, I just want to say thank you. And I'm sending you off with lots of love. So thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video when I feel guided to. Okay. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.